In this section, we will examine the mission and organization of the Medical Battalion. The Medical Battalion provides medical treatment capabilities that support Marine forces when medical requirements exceed the capabilities of smaller organic medical units. Its primary focus is initial resuscitative care, which means stabilizing patients through emergency medical or surgical procedures. For example, medical personnel may perform life-saving procedures that stabilize injured Marines before they are evacuated to higher levels of medical care. As part of the Marine Logistics Group, the Medical Battalion provides organized medical support capabilities that can be deployed to support MAGTF operations. These capabilities ensure that medical personnel can rapidly respond to casualties during operations. The diagram shown here illustrates the organizational structure of the Medical Battalion. At the top is the Medical Battalion Headquarters, which provides command and coordination for medical operations. The battalion includes the Headquarters and Service Company, which provides command support and administrative functions for the battalion. It also includes two surgical companies, Alpha Surgical Company and Bravo Surgical Company. Each of these surgical companies contains specialized medical platoons that provide emergency medical and surgical capabilities during operations. These medical capabilities allow the Medical Battalion to treat and stabilize casualties close to the battlefield. For example, the Forward Resuscitative Surgical System allows surgeons to perform life-saving emergency surgery in expeditionary environments. Shock trauma platoons focus on initial trauma care and stabilization, while temporary wards allow patients to be held and monitored until evacuation is possible. The en route care system provides medical care while patients are being transported between treatment facilities. The Medical Battalion provides emergency medical and surgical support that stabilizes casualties and preserves life in support of MAGTF operations. Having explained the mission and organization of the Medical Battalion, we will now discuss the major tasks performed by this battalion in support of Marine Corps operations. These tasks describe how the Medical Battalion provides health service support and medical coordination for Marine forces during missions. The first tasks focus on command coordination and medical treatment capabilities. Command and control functions allow the Medical Battalion to coordinate medical support activities across operational units. Forward Resuscitative Healthcare provides initial emergency medical treatment and surgical intervention close to the battlefield. Medical regulating services ensure that patients are directed to the appropriate medical facilities for treatment. These tasks focus on protecting the health of Marine forces and preparing for potential medical hazards. Preventive medicine activities help reduce disease risks and environmental health threats during deployments. Medical intelligence helps identify health threats or medical risks that may affect operations. Casualty decontamination stations allow medical personnel to treat personnel exposed to hazardous materials before further medical care is provided. The final tasks focus on large-scale casualty management and coordination of medical support operations. Mass casualty management allows medical units to treat large numbers of injured personnel during major combat operations. Patient evacuation coordination ensures that casualties are transported safely. From forward treatment areas to higher levels of medical care, the Medical Battalion may also provide medical support to Allied forces or civilians, when required by international agreements or humanitarian obligations. The Medical Battalion performs 9 key tasks that provide emergency treatment, preventive medicine, casualty management, and medical coordination in support of MEF and MAGTF operations. Next, we proceed to the Headquarters and Service Company of the Medical Battalion, commonly referred to as the H&S Company. This company plays an important role in supporting the Medical Battalion by providing medical support capabilities along with command and administrative functions that allow the battalion to operate effectively during missions. The H&S Company ensures that the Medical Battalion has the administrative, logistical, and operational coordination necessary to deliver medical services during Marine Corps operations. The mission of Medical Battalion H&S Company is to provide general medical support to the MEF, as well as command, control, and command support functions for the battalion. This coordination ensures that all medical assets are utilized effectively in the field. It focuses on the seamless delivery of medical services to personnel in various operational environments. This includes coordinating patient evacuation and maintaining systems for medical treatment units. The company is organized to plan command support functions for the battalion and coordinate command support activities. It also supervises command support functions and provides general medical support to the MEF. It is structured to facilitate task organization for operations conducted by the battalion in support of the MEF or smaller MAGTFs. This structure allows the H&S company to coordinate both administrative support and operational medical support activities. It ensures that medical units remain organized and ready to provide treatment support during operations. At the top of the diagram is the company headquarters section, which provides command and coordination for the H&S company. Below the headquarters are several administrative and support sections. These include S1 section for personnel administration, the S2, S3 section for intelligence and operations, the S4 section for logistics, and the supply section for medical equipment. The motor T section provides transportation support, and the ambulance section is responsible for medical evacuation transport. The diagram also shows a patient evacuation team, which assists with the movement of patients from treatment locations to higher levels of medical care. Additional specialized support sections include the utilities section for operational facilities and the chaplain section for religious support services. The preventive medicine section focuses on disease prevention, and the combat stress platoon supports Marines experiencing operational stress or trauma. The combat stress platoon includes multiple support teams that assist personnel during operations. The H&S company also supports medical treatment elements, including the pharmacy platoon and 2 surgical platoons for surgical treatment capabilities. Within these are specialized elements such as forward resuscitative surgical systems, shock trauma platoons, X-ray, laboratory units, and en route care systems. These components allow the medical battalion to provide emergency medical treatment, surgical care, diagnostic services, and patient stabilization. The H&S company provides the command, administrative, and medical support capabilities that enable the medical battalion to deliver health service support during MEF and MAGTAV operations. Having examined the mission and organization of the medical battalion headquarters and service company, we will now discuss the major tasks performed by this company. These tasks describe how the H&S company supports the medical battalion and the Marine Expeditionary Force during operations. The H&S company provides the command and administrative structure that allows the medical battalion to operate effectively. Command and control functions help coordinate personnel, logistics, and transportation resources needed for medical operations. Medical regulating ensures that patients are directed to the appropriate treatment facilities, while medical data coordination helps track casualty information and medical support requirements. Medical augmentation allows the battalion to reinforce medical units when additional support is required. The company also provides limited mental health services, which helps support Marines dealing with operational stress during deployments. Now that we understand the responsibilities of the H&S company, we will examine another important element of the medical battalion, the surgical support company. This company provides the surgical treatment capabilities required to stabilize casualties during Marine Corps operations. The surgical support company provides the medical teams and equipment required to perform emergency surgical procedures during operations. These procedures are often conducted close to the battlefield, allowing medical personnel to stabilize casualties before evacuation to higher levels of care. These medical elements allow the surgical support company to provide comprehensive emergency medical treatment during operations. For example, the forward resuscitative surgical system allows surgeons to perform life-saving surgical procedures in expeditionary environments. Shock trauma platoons provide initial trauma treatment, while diagnostic capabilities such as X-ray and laboratory services help medical teams evaluate injuries. Temporary wards allow patients to be monitored and stabilized until evacuation to higher-level medical facilities is possible. The Medical Battalion H&S company provides command and medical support coordination, while the Surgical Support Company provides life-saving surgical treatment capabilities during MEF and MAGTAV operations. Next, we will examine the Medical Battalion Surgical Company, which is responsible for providing direct medical and surgical support to infantry units during Marine Corps operations. This company delivers forward medical treatment capability that allows casualties to receive immediate care close to the battlefield. The surgical company ensures that infantry units have access to rapid medical treatment during combat or operational missions. This includes stabilizing casualties, performing emergency surgical procedures, and temporarily holding patients until they can be evacuated to higher levels of care. Because infantry operations may occur across large operational areas, the surgical company can be task organized to support different units within the regiment. This allows medical teams to deploy closer to combat elements that require immediate medical support. Each surgical platoon provides a complete forward medical treatment capability. These platoons allow the company to deploy multiple treatment teams across the battlefield simultaneously. This table, titled Surgical Company Organization, is a visual layout of how the surgical company is organized. At the top of the diagram is the headquarters section, which provides command and coordination. Below the headquarters are 4 surgical platoons, each capable of delivering forward medical treatment. Each surgical platoon contains several specialized medical elements. The first is the Forward Resuscitative Surgical System, or FRSS, for emergency procedures. Next is the Shock Trauma Platoon, or STP, which provides trauma care and stabilization. Each platoon also includes X-ray capability for diagnostics, and a laboratory capability for conducting diagnostic testing. Each platoon contains a ward for temporary patient holding. The En route care system, or ERCS, provides care during transport between facilities. Finally, each platoon includes an ambulance section consisting of 2 vehicles, allowing for continuous care during transport. Together, these medical elements allow each surgical platoon to operate continuously for 24-hour medical operations. That is what this organization diagram displays. In summary, the Medical Battalion Surgical Company provides forward medical and surgical treatment capability that stabilizes casualties and supports infantry operations during MEF and MAGTAV missions. Let's discuss the major tasks performed by the Surgical Support Company during Marine Corps operations. These tasks describe how surgical support elements provide forward medical treatment and casualty management for infantry units during missions. The first responsibility of the Surgical Support Company is to establish medical treatment facilities that can provide emergency medical care and surgical treatment close to operational forces. These facilities allow medical teams to stabilize casualties before evacuation to higher levels of medical care. The company must also be prepared to receive patients from forward treatment units that operate closer to the point of injury. These tasks ensure that infantry units have access to organized medical treatment facilities capable of managing casualties during operations. When patients require more advanced care than the forward medical facility can provide, the Surgical Support Company prepares them for rapid evacuation to higher-level medical facilities. The Surgical Support Company also coordinates medical evacuation operations, ensuring that injured personnel are transported safely to the appropriate medical facilities. This coordination ensures that casualties receive continuous medical care throughout the evacuation process. The Surgical Support Company performs 5 essential tasks that provide forward medical treatment, casualty stabilization, and coordinated medical evacuation in support of infantry regiment operations. Next, we will examine the Shock Trauma Platoon, commonly referred to as the STP. The Shock Trauma Platoon is a key forward medical support element, providing rapid trauma care and casualty management during operations. The STP is the most mobile medical support platoon of the Medical Battalion. Because of its mobility, it can quickly move to support forward units. This allows medical personnel to stabilize casualties as early as possible in the evacuation chain. The STP can serve as a battalion evacuation station, reinforce a battalion aid station, or operate as an intermediate casualty collecting point. It also serves as the forward element of an FRSS or surgical company. These roles allow it to function as a flexible forward medical unit. For example, when casualty rates increase, the STP can reinforce the battalion aid station to help manage additional patients. In this role, the STP helps ensure casualties are collected, stabilized, and prepared for evacuation to surgical treatment facilities. An STP reinforced with specialized personnel can provide health service support to a combat logistics battalion or Marine expeditionary unit. This allows the platoon to provide broader medical support to logistics units or expeditionary forces depending on mission requirements. The Shock Trauma Platoon is the most mobile medical support element, providing forward trauma care and reinforcement during MAGTAV operations. Next, we will examine the Forward Resuscitative Surgical System, commonly referred to as the FRSS. This system provides a forward surgical capability designed to deliver life-saving surgical care to combat casualties during Marine Corps operations. The FRSS is one of the smallest possible units for provision of surgical care to combat casualties. It is the primary unit for resuscitative treatment. Because of its small size and mobility, the FRSS can deploy very close to forward combat operations, allowing surgeons to perform life-saving procedures quickly after injury occurs. This rapid surgical capability helps increase the chances of survival for severely wounded personnel. The FRSS is employed when the tactical situation precludes use of a surgical company ashore, or rapid casualty transport to a land-based surgical facility is unavailable. In situations where evacuation to larger medical facilities is not possible, the FRSS provides immediate surgical capability directly within the operational area to stabilize casualties. In this role, the FRSS acts as an early surgical treatment point within the medical evacuation chain. The FRSS core package can perform approximately 18 salvage surgical procedures and 20 trauma resuscitations over a 48-hour period before requiring resupply. Because the FRSS is designed for mobility and rapid deployment, it focuses on short-term stabilization rather than long-term patient care. This equipment package, weighing approximately 6,300 pounds, includes the surgical tools and medical supplies required for emergency procedures in expeditionary environments. The FRSS medical team is comprised of surgeons, anesthesiologists, nurses, and technicians specially trained for emergency surgical procedures under expeditionary conditions. Despite its limited size, the FRSS team delivers rapid resuscitative surgical treatment that stabilizes casualties before evacuation. The FRSS provides a highly mobile surgical capability that delivers life-saving resuscitative treatment to combat casualties during MAGTAV operations. Next, we will examine the en route care system, commonly referred to as the ERCS. This system provides critical medical care to patients while they are being transported between medical treatment facilities during Marine Corps operations. The Marine Corps ERCS is an essential follow-on for the Forward Resuscitative Surgical System, FRSS. After patients receive emergency surgical treatment from the FRSS, they often need to be transported to larger medical facilities for continued care. The ERCS provides medical support during this evacuation process, ensuring that critically injured patients continue receiving treatment while in transit. Each ERCS team is composed of a critical care nurse and a corpsman. Each surgical company contains 3 of these specialized teams. These teams are specially trained to manage critically injured patients during medical evacuation flights, delivering advanced care during transport. The ERCS can provide medical care for 2 critically injured or ill but stabilized patients for approximately 2 hours during flight. This capability allows medical personnel to monitor and treat patients continuously while they are being evacuated from forward treatment areas. In this role, the ERCS functions as an important link in the casualty evacuation chain, maintaining patient care between treatment facilities. ERCS supports expeditionary maneuver warfare by providing the capability to evacuate patients up to 240 nautical miles using opportune medium-lift aircraft. This allows Marine forces to rapidly transport critically injured patients to treatment facilities, supporting fast-moving operations across large areas. ERCS teams are employed when the tactical situation requires prompt transport of critically injured patients from forward elements to higher levels of care. In these situations, the ERCS ensures that casualties receive continuous medical monitoring and treatment while being transported to higher levels of care. The ERCS provides critical medical care during patient evacuation, ensuring continuous treatment for stabilized casualties during MAGTAV operations. To conclude this section, we will define several key medical and operational terms commonly used in Marine Corps medical support operations. Understanding these terms helps clarify how medical care, casualty management, and medical information systems operate within the Marine Air Ground Task Force. A Battalion Aid Station, or BAS, is the primary medical treatment point for a battalion-level unit. It is normally staffed by Navy corpsmen and medical personnel who provide initial medical treatment and stabilization before casualties are evacuated to higher medical facilities. A casualty receiving and treatment ship is a naval medical platform designed to receive, treat, and stabilize casualties during maritime operations. These ships provide surgical and medical capabilities that support Marine forces operating at sea or in expeditionary environments. The Tactical Combat Casualty Care Card is used to record medical treatment provided to injured personnel during combat operations. This card helps medical personnel track injuries, treatments, and medications given to casualties throughout the evacuation process. A medical treatment facility, or MTF, is any facility where medical care is provided to patients, including field medical units, surgical treatment facilities, or hospitals. These facilities provide different levels of medical care depending on the severity of injuries and operational requirements. A TAH hospital ship is a naval medical vessel equipped with large-scale medical treatment capabilities, including surgery, intensive care, and hospitalization. These ships provide advanced medical support during large-scale military operations or humanitarian missions. The Theater Medical Information Program, or TMIP, is a system used to collect, manage, and share medical information during military operations. This system helps track patient data, medical treatment records, and casualty information across operational medical facilities. En route care refers to the medical treatment provided to patients while they are being transported between medical facilities. This care ensures that patients continue to receive monitoring and treatment during evacuation from forward treatment units to higher levels of medical care. These medical terms describe key facilities, systems, and procedures that support casualty care, medical evacuation, and medical information management during MAGTAV operations. To complete our discussion of the Medical Battalion and its capabilities, we will now examine the echelons of care used in military medical support. These levels of care describe how casualties move through progressively more advanced medical treatment facilities during operations. Role I represents the first level of medical care provided on the battlefield. At this level, treatment may begin with self-aid or buddy aid, followed by care from hospital corpsmen assigned to combat units. When possible, casualties may also be treated at the battalion aid station or by a shock trauma platoon, where they receive initial stabilization before evacuation. Role 2 provides forward surgical and resuscitative treatment capability. At this level, medical teams such as the Forward Resuscitative Surgical System perform emergency surgical procedures designed to stabilize critically injured patients. Casualties may also receive treatment aboard casualty receiving and treatment ships operating from amphibious assault ships such as LHDs or LHAs. Role 3 provides more advanced hospitalization capability within the operational theater. These facilities have greater surgical capacity, intensive care capabilities, and extended patient treatment capabilities. Examples include hospital ships, expeditionary medical facilities, and combat support hospitals. Role I represents definitive medical care, where patients receive long-term treatment and recovery services. This level typically includes advanced medical facilities capable of providing specialized treatment and rehabilitation. These facilities may include expeditionary medical systems operated by the U.S. Air Force or medical treatment facilities operated by coalition partner nations. This system ensures that casualties receive continuous medical care as they move through progressively more advanced treatment facilities during evacuation. The echelons of care system ensures that casualties receive immediate treatment, surgical stabilization, hospitalization, and definitive care as they move through the medical evacuation chain during MAGTAV operations. Before moving forward, let us briefly review the key points covered in Section 108, which focuses on the medical battalion within the logistics combat element. This section explained the mission, organization, medical systems, and casualty care capabilities that support Marine forces during operations. The medical battalion ensures that Marine forces receive rapid medical treatment and surgical care during operations, stabilizing casualties before evacuation to higher levels of medical care. This structure allows the medical battalion to deploy medical treatment capabilities throughout the operational area, supporting infantry units and other elements of the MAGTAI. These tasks ensure that Marine forces receive organized medical support, casualty management, and medical evacuation during operations. These medical elements provide forward trauma care, surgical treatment, and medical support during casualty evacuation. Together, they form an integrated system that stabilizes casualties and supports continuous medical treatment during operations. These terms describe key facilities, systems, and documentation used to support casualty care and medical information management during military operations. These echelons represent the progressive levels of medical care provided to casualties, from immediate battlefield treatment to advanced medical facilities capable of providing long-term recovery care. This system ensures that casualties receive continuous medical care as they move through the evacuation chain during operations. In summary, the medical battalion plays a vital role in protecting the health of Marine forces by ensuring that casualties receive rapid treatment, stabilization, and evacuation during operations.